Ladies and gentlemen, what is up, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be having a look at the early abilities for both Angela and King Groot. So it's speculated that these are the two characters being added next month to Marvel Contest of Champions, which kind of hints at a 2-month Guardians of the Galaxy event, because we've also found some early info on both Yondu and Nebula in the game files. It's just text information at the moment, no models or abilities yet, so it kind of looks like they're going quite big for the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I do not blame them at all, because this could be potentially a really huge opportunity for Marvel Contest of Champions to kind of further market their game, reach a new audience if they have some nice times with the new movie. So yeah, I think there's some really cool stuff there. We might see, hopefully, if they get a good campaign around there, a load more players joining Marvel Contest of Champions, which could be pretty cool. But regardless of which, we got some very interesting characters to start off with. In today's video, again, we're going to be having a look at the abilities for both Angela and King Groot, and two interesting champions. I'm not really too sure of their use yet or what they're going to be exceptionally good for, but we'll have a little bit of a think as we go through the video. And also, apologies if my webcam is a bit too sunny today. We finally got sun in England, and I'm not prepared for it, guys. I can just see myself being absorbed by the sun at the moment. But anyway, let's continue. Let's look at Angela's abilities first. So the first thing she has is, for each percentage of maximum health taken in damage, immediately gain a resilience counter. When below 100% of max health without an active regeneration buff, she converts this counter into a regeneration buff. So I'm a little bit curious about exactly how this works. Like, does it work like guillotines, where you can only reach a certain threshold and get the buff from it once, because guillotine gains souls only from a certain percentage threshold once, and then she needs to go lower before she can gain another soul? Or is it one of those things where you can just keep on going and going and going? So yeah, I'm really interested to see how that works, because I think if it's one of those things where you can just keep going and going and going, then it might significantly increase the value of Angela there. But that's the first question, is does she have an infinite regen, or is it like capped to a certain amount? So that's a big question mark there. So then we have the special attack 1. So Angela has a lot of buffs. That's the first thing to bear in mind. So does King Groot as well, to be fair, which puts them in the bin. Puts them in the bin for Alliance War. But anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So if there is already a Fury active on Angela, this effect lasts for X seconds, so it doesn't tell you what effect it is, but maybe another Fury effect. Special attack 2, if there's already an armor up active on Angela, this effect lasts for X seconds. And special attack 3, Angela's attack is increased by X amount for each buff active on her during this attack. So Angela gains a buff based on her current power level, and each time Angela lands a critical hit, she will duplicate the buff she's being granted by her current power level. This buff has a duration of X seconds and a maximum of X stacks of each buff can be duplicated. So less than a special 1, she's got an armor up rating, so you probably don't want to stay there for a very long time. Special 1, you have Fury, increasing attack by X amount. Precision, you have a special 2, and above you have Precision, which gives you increased crit rating. And then special 3, you gain a buff called Aptitude, which will increase the potency and the effectiveness of all Fury, armor up, and precision buffs by X amount. Now, talking about Angela's signature ability as well, let's go a little bit back for that. A signature ability, a bit of a weird one here, but for every buff she has, it reduces the chance for nullify abilities to land on her by a certain percentage. So I think that's a bit of an interesting wording here. The first question I have is, like, can you use Loki? Can you use Loki just to steal all of the buffs? You know, if you can't nullify with a Scarlet Witch or Dr. Voodoo, can you just use Loki to steal all of the buffs and then play around her that way? It doesn't seem like a lot of the buffs are essential to nullify, but the regeneration might be a bit of a pain in the ass. Like, that's potentially one ball ache when fighting Angela. Apart from that, she doesn't seem to have too many defensive capabilities there. But yeah, that's the question, guys, because I feel like maybe with these two characters, maybe they're trying to get us to give Loki a bit of a second look here. But a bit of a weird signature ability. You don't often see a counter to nullify there, but an interesting one regardless. So that's it for Angela. I think Angela, in regards to, like, Alliance War attack, again, too many buffs. She's just going to be a Mystic Dispersion Magnet. Might be alright on certain nodes, maybe, with with kind of like a heads up. Maybe if you have the ability to scout out the map ahead, might be good for maybe dealing with Electros if you can just keep on going and going and going with the regeneration. So I think there's some interesting stuff there. Maybe she's good for like certain quests, and maybe Alliance quest as well as a sustainable champion, but it's a little bit hard to tell at the moment. I think for Alliance War, she's maybe in the bin for now, but we'll see, guys. You know, she's still not out in the game. But anyway, let's go on to talk about King Groot now. So King Groot looks like a really, really cool champion. So King Groot begins each fight with X amount of fury buffs. So King Groot, everything seems to kind of base off and rely on him gaining fury. So each buff increases his attack by X amount for X seconds. When King Groot loses his last fury charge, he enters a cooldown state for X seconds. While in cooldown, each attack thrown or suffered has a percentage chance to cause King Groot to store 1 fury charge. And when King Groot's cooldown ends, he immediately gains, the amount of fury charges he has as actual fury buffs. So that's really, really interesting stuff there, and that's any attacks like thrown or received. So when you're beating into a King Groot, like as a defender, he's going to gain like a lot of charges and be able to bounce back up to potentially a lot of damage there, or maybe a little bit lethal. But also his awakened ability kind of ties into that mechanic. So whenever he's on cooldown, he's going to recover a certain amount of health. So it really depends like how much that regeneration is. But I think that initially seems a bit interesting for something like Alliance War. Might not be too bad as a defender on certain nodes. Just because, you know, he's going to be able to keep going and going and going and regenerating health, but it really depends like how powerful and how potent that signature ability is in terms of his regeneration. But as a champion you play, I don't know, he's seeing a little bit of potential. Again, in regards to Alliance War attack, with all these fury buffs, he's going to be a huge Mystic Dispersion magnet, especially if they all expire at the same time. But yeah, I'm not really too sure about that. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm just being enveloped in light in the webcam here. This is crazy. I'm getting blinds in like 2 weeks time, guys, so hopefully we shouldn't have these lighting issues anymore. But anyway, let's press on forward. So also in regards to his Alliance War defense, so each time Groot receives a debuff, he shrugs it off after X amount of seconds at the cost of 1 fury charge. So again, he's got that regeneration, he's got that Agent Venom shrug off. It really depends like just how annoying his special attacks are. I think he's got some potential for Alliance War defense though. I'm seeing some good stuff there initially. He also has a poison, so X chance to poison the opponent, dealing direct damage over X amount of seconds. If King Groot has a fury buff, he consumes it to apply an additional poison effect. So I think it doesn't explain how that is kind of triggered or applied. If that's applied when he's attacking, that's going to up his value for attack. If it's applied when he's being attacked, then that's going to up his value for defense. So we're going to have to see there. But yeah, a lot of these don't really give too much detail here. He also has a regen. Again, there's nothing really tying into the special 1, 2, and 3 here. A bit lacking on the info, but you know, this gives us a kind of like rough idea of what the character is going to be like. So King Groot overloads his floral cells to gain a regeneration buff, recovering X health over X seconds. And if King Groot has a fury buff, he consumes it to increase the duration of this regeneration by a certain percentage as well. So I think there's some maybe interesting synergy there with like his double regen as well in the cooldown phase. I think there are some certain ways you can play King Groot to get a lot of regeneration off, and if this scales like off his maximum health, which I assume it does, kind of looking at this ability, sorry, what is it, the stats of like a fully maxed out Groot. He has a lot of health, probably one of the highest health champions in the game. I reckon he's definitely top 10 for that, so I reckon the regeneration effect's going to be very, very effective against him. Angela's, I'm not too sure, she's kind of got average health there for a champion, like a rank 4, most champions have anywhere between 20 to 22k, so that seems about fairly average for Angela's regen. But again, if she can keep going and going and going, that might make her pretty good, but we're gonna have to see on that one. We're gonna have to see. And then finally, King Groot has a chance to stun the opponent for X seconds, and if he has a fury buff, he consumes it to increase his stun chance by a flat percentage. So I think it's really like figuring out exactly how stuff applies on King Groot, and also how to do certain combos. Can you maybe like you know, if he enters his cooldown whenever you don't have any stacks of Fury. Is there a way to like maybe get like 1 stack of Fury and then just wait out and get the insane regeneration and then just keep on doing that again and again and again? Is there a way to play a little bit more defensively so your character can just keep healing and healing and healing? I think it's an interesting one. But overall, I think King Groot, he has potential for defense, maybe also potential as a solid regeneration champion when it comes to questing, alliance quests as well. Very similar with Angela. I don't think Angela at the moment has very much defense potential, but again, it also depends on like the special attacks and animations. Like, are they crazy difficult to avoid? We do not quite know that yet, but we're gonna hopefully find that out fairly soon when they come into next month's event, which I believe is, I'm not too sure if it's next Wednesday. I think it is actually next Wednesday. I think it's the 5th of April. Yeah, so we're going to hopefully see these 2 new characters in action next week. Very, very looking forward to seeing King Groot's animations. Like, he seems like an insane character. I really like that he has a very, like, spiked fist there. That's pretty cool as well. And in terms of their stats as well, one of the things that is lacking very much on King Groot is his base attack. Like, his base attack is so ridiculously low. I imagine that the Fury stacks are gonna... from what I can see, if his base attack is this low, either he's going to hit like a bit of a wet noodle, or his Fury stacks are going to be insane. They're going to provide so much damage to the champion and be very essential to his gameplay mechanics. But we're going to have to see interesting synergies as well with King Groot. He's got 2 crit ones, so you know, if you have a 3-star, a 4-star, maybe even a 5-star King Groot, although at the moment he doesn't seem like the best character to go for as a 5-star. But you know, potentially you could light up 6 crit nodes there. Might not be too bad. Angela has a lot of attack, and I think those are either armor up or perfect blocked ones. So not really great great synergies there, not really great ones or anything too exciting. But overall, I like the design of these new characters. It looks like they're really pushing Cosmic into a way that is making a lot of the characters rely on having buffs. Like the last Cosmic champion we saw, Hyperion, he's very buff orientated as well, which has really good synergy, especially with characters like Black Bolt. If you have like a triple Black Bolt team with Cosmic Supremacy, there might be some really additional interesting synergies that you can do with some of these characters. But also at the same point, having all the Cosmic characters rely on getting buffs with the current state of Mystic Dispersion. You know, whenever it expires at 5 out of 5, it will give a Mystic character 12% power. It's just really bad. It just completely gimps them for Alliance War attack and makes them heavily disadvantaged against any Mystic attackers. So I think, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to fight these because I feel like I'm going to be able to wreck them with my Dr. Voodoo and Loki. I'm interested to see how potent, like, Angela's anti-nullify is. But I don't know, guys, Loki might be next month's MVP champion. If King Groot and Angela, they just keep on going and going and going with the regen, maybe you're going to be able to take advantage with that as a Loki. I don't know, guys. I feel like these 2 characters, they're just a push. They're to push Loki. These 2 characters, it doesn't matter about these 2 characters. It's all about making Loki a better character. And be able to steal all of these buffs might be pretty damn good. Might be pretty damn good. Regardless of which, we're going to have some fun in the next Master Mode event. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below about King Groot and Angela. Do you like these new characters? Do you not like them? Are you potentially grinding for one of them or going for one of them as a 5-star? Let me know. Apart from that, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.